So here is our starting situation. With the crafting of Blackshot, the undead armies had been at a standstill in the Western kingdoms, too well entrenched to attack directly and held at bay by smaller but better equipped forces. That changed at the Battle of Ettenmark Fields. Now the Legion has been shattered, and the Cinder King's troops march east, bolstered with heretofore unseen horrors to fight humanity. Critical supplies of black shot were left behind the lines as the retreat was organized. Now those caravans have been overrun by the undead. If you're to have a fighting chance, you need that shot. The Legion made it over the Hazelbrook Bridge some miles south. Your mission is to assault and reclaim several carts of black shot. Without these supplies, you will be unable to restock or hold out against the undead for long. Attack the convoy, liberate the supplies, then make your way east to ford the Tigria River. Can you reclaim the black shot? How will you ford the river with crates of bullets? How will you deal with the undead camp and the horrors within? We play to find out. So, with all of that said, let's head over to the Roll20 interface. I would like each of you to, we're going to have you start just by picking a specialist. So there are 5 of them here. Let me get over to the same screen you guys are at. So there are 5 specialists. I'm going to go over them just really, really quickly, high level. The heavy, basically all of these are what they say on the tin. The heavy is going to be a heavily armored frontline, usually melee fighter. There's a couple variations where you can take the playbook. Usually either like big tanky sword and board kind of heavy, or big carrying a giant two-hander. Big walking beat stick of death. I've never played Overwatch, but I'm aware of it enough to know that like Reinhardt is your classical heavy. Medic is usually very well educated. They have a thing called tonics, or a resource called tonics, that allow them to do cool things. Again, your sort of variations here are more medic for your medic, which is they can heal people, or they can help them stave off wound penalties at least, until they can survive and get back to camp. Like one of their special abilities lets them basically save the dying. There is another way you can kind of take this, where instead you become a sort of like stimulant tosser abouter, and you become a sort of more buff butt kind of character, and that sort of thing. Um, the officer in your typical like sort of XCOM tactical style game, this is the person who interfaces the most with the rookies, with the small soldiers, and just makes them better. They're fantastic at group actions. Um, and whenever an officer is deployed on a mission, they are assumed to be leading it. So whoever plays this playbook in this mission or any mission going forward, I am going to talk to them about like what is the big overall plan. Now, on a meta level, you're always allowed to talk to your fellow players because you're playing somebody who is maybe more well tactically versed than any of us are, but you have the final say in terms of like, this is what I think the plan is. Scout. Uh, Usually, I mean, they're usually lightly armored. They usually go ahead. Uh they get into places. Again, sort of your 2 variants are more traditional, like I hide in foliage, but there are some ways I guess you can take it where it's like I'm really good at collecting information, more of a spy slash saboteur kind of thing going on. Um, Sniper is maybe the one that like can really vary the most, in the sense of you can be exactly what it says on the tin. Snipers get some of the most advanced equipment in the Legion, which is to say, you have a fine long rifle, which is an orite sniper rifle. It's a repeating rifle, so it's advanced technology. Um, and you can also choose 2 fine pistols, which are the closest thing this game has to revolvers. They usually carry about 5 shots in a single like volley. And so you can either like lean harder into the, the sniper aspect, which means you'll probably be looking for high ground in every single mission you're in. Or there's an ability called Akimbo that lets you basically become this world's version of John Wick. Um, so those are some of your options, but let's just start with everybody select a playbook. And if nobody volunteers, I'll start going down the list and seeing who wants to play what. Do be advised, in case this was missed in scroll, this is troop-based gameplay. I am just asking you to make a specialist and play them for this mission. In subsequent missions, other people may play this character. You will definitely be playing different characters. Um, so don't feel married to this character. Yeah. Does anyone have one that reaches out and grabs them though?
I'm always a fan of snipers or scout, but
Sure.
they all sound great.
Um, I'm feeling a little bit dumb and I like to hit things, so I'm gonna be a heavy.
Fantastic.
I think medic might be fun.
Okay.
Then what's left? Officer and or
Officer in either scout or sniper, depending on.
And I'll grab the sniper, so you have a
Okay, so officer and scout are
choice.
left.
um
And when Ben Mansky gets back, we'll have them take the last.
yeah. I'll do a scout then.
Okay, so our officer
I
is.
don't wanna I don't wanna think about what the plan is. I don't know what the plan
I
is.
love that the first thing Ben is going to come back to is, by the way, you're leading this operation. Fantastic. Cool. I'm just gonna go through. Is there a character creation handout? There's probably is. Unless I'm a big old liar. Cool. Then I'm just gonna go into the book and copy and paste this. Uh, uh, uh. So before you choose your special ability, I'm actually going to do this slightly out of order. I'm going to have you choose a heritage. The Legion primarily recruits from one of four demographics in the Eastern Kingdoms. The Bartons, the Orites, the Panyar, and the Zemyati. Also, this is a world that doesn't have elves or dwarves in it. Humans are basically the only race functionally, quote unquote. But in selecting your heritage, you're going to see on your character sheet that there are four options. When you select your heritage, you pick two of those from your heritage. And to talk a little bit about each of them. So the Bartons are close-knit and devout. Many wear jewelry made of tokens granted to them by family and people they've forged strong friendships with. Their culture is agrarian and ruled by a council. Aesthetically, they have a lot of Assyrian, Arabic, and Hindu influences. You'll see that in their name list. And yeah, I think that's all for now. Orites. Orites are cosmopolitan and influential. Their country is known for its technology. They have developed actually steam technology already. They have clockwork. The god of alchemy is an Orite god. Um, Another fun thing about the Orites is they are obsessed with nobility and lineage. Something happened in their past long enough ago that we don't care exactly about what happened, but effectively, the Orite the Orite leading council or monarch or whoever basically did that thing where you can buy a plot of land in Ireland and like gain a title. And so every Orite has some kind of title, but that title, it's not that it doesn't mean anything. It's that you can be a duke of a plot of land no larger than someone's backyard. Or you can be a lady and have, 17 orchards to your name. There is probably a system where Orites understand all of this, but we don't have to. Titles are there for flavor. Um, so now there is an ability called noble, or there's a trait called noble, and if you take that, that means it does mean something. You're a little more noble than everybody else, but you could take that and be just like a dame, or a lord, and that's fine. So that's all right. Their culture aesthetically is a little more like Swiss, general sort of Western European. Um, that's them. Panyar. So Panyar come from the deep forest of Panya. It was once touched by an ancient god. Panyar are an interesting culture. Um, you're not necessarily born Panyar. Anybody who spends more than 10 years in the forest of Panya begins to mutate and usually begins to manifest some kind of animal trait. The horned one, notably, as her name suggests, has horns. But these can be things like snake eyes, cat claws, things of that nature, or pointed ears. So this is like where your closest thing to elves kind of come from. Their names are divided into three parts. First is a color. Second is an adjective, and then the third is a non-animal noun. Um, and the third name you have to earn by some great deed. And then last but not least are the Zemyati. They are mountain dwelling clans. Their culture is largely inspired by a mix of sort of like Western Rus and Finland, Nordic cultures. They're very Viking coded. They are big and tough. Their names are either they have patronymics or matronymics, depending on whether they themselves identify as masc or femme. Um, there's a little bit more guidance there. I'm also going to drop a name guide. Actually, in um, it's already in the game resources tab. I'm just going to make it available here in case anybody wants to use it. So yeah, pick a heritage for your character, select two of those traits, and if you haven't already, select a special ability to start with. At what point do you select? Oh, here it is. Aha. Right on schedule.
So in the bar next to heritage, you just type the heritage you want, or is that a different space or something?
Just type it. Yeah, you can type it there. The interface will actually, when you click one of the four, so you might see like some chevrons to the left of
Yes, the little diamonds.
yes. When you click on one of them, the others should go away. The other heritages should go away. So that also makes it kind of easy as well.
Yes, there we go.
We're taking one or two of those traits.
Sorry, what was that?
We're taking one or two of those traits.
Two.
Two, okay.
Now the culture itself is much more than those four traits, but those are the I guess call them stereotypes or reputations if you want of the heritage that you're from. Um,
What are you guys thinking? I was thinking of going with an all right.
I think I'm going Panyar.
I'm leaning Zemyati.
I was also going to go Panyar because that seems fun to me.
by all means. So heritage, again, there's going to be like 35 plus characters in this legion. I would not at all worry about being like, oh no, we don't have a Barton or whatever.
Yeah.
There's plenty of opportunity for that. Also, in case anybody needs to like click the button and wants to generate more stuff. Oh, never mind. Everybody has edit capability. So yeah, if you want to just randomize everything, click that checkbox and it'll randomize everything. Or make a copy of it for yourself and then play around with it. Also, you're not restricted to those names at all. But I would definitely suggest using them for inspiration. Like if none of the titles reach out and grab you, this is not a definitive list. It is there for inspiration. And
Maybe
when, oh, go ahead.
I
No.
was just on the character sheet. Where do we put the name?
There should be a little gray field. So, confusingly enough, top left underneath the band of blades, there is the black with your playbook name, and then there is
Yeah.
a gray where it says it again. The gray can be edited.
Got it. Okay.
Did we say we have a Panyar Scout?
It's me.
Amazing.
And a Panyar sniper.
And a Panyar Sniper. The Horned one is going to be very interested in this.
Glad you guys went with her.
Yeah.
I hope I do her justice.
For the scout, the first move says you can spend scrounge uses as a special armor against traps or detection. Is that something that I roll and then depending on like how I roll, I have a hold or something? Because I don't really see where the uses come into play.
So special armor is not rolled. Special armor, think of it like armor and trophy gold. You mark it and it reduces, it either reduces an effect if it is a harm type situation. So like level 3 harm will become level 2 harm if you mark that armor. Or in this case, you mark scrounge. Usually, so each one of there are there are 12 actions on your sheet to the upper right. Actions are what they call skills in this game. The very,
Mhm.
very top one is unique to your playbook. So the scout has scrounge, whereas the sniper has aim, medic has doctor, heavy has anchor. Generally speaking, your special abilities are not rolled. There might be some cases. Doctor is an interesting one. We'll talk more about that when it becomes relevant. But generally speaking, yeah, it is a resource to be spent, unlike the other actions.
Hmm.
And how do
Now,
I know how many I have? It's just the 3 boxes?
so you start with one. A darkened box means you have it. Let me get over to Silver Surging
Ah,
Tide.
okay. The first one
But
that's in the before the line
correct.
should okay.
Um, yeah. So currently you start with one scrounge. Every specialist playbook starts with one in their special action. You also, however, so for marking it purposes, on the left side of your sheet to the right of the harm boxes, you see a bunch of little gray ones. They armor heavy, shield special, and then down at the bottom it says scrounge. As you increase your dots of scrounge, your points in scrounge, that's going to go up. So when you mark them uh during the mission itself, you will mark that box, not anything to the upper right. In fact, all of your armor, basically, In the trophy gold, like think of the armor interface there where you like mark boxes and that says it's used. That's where you do that, is to the right of the harm.
Mhm.
Yes, okay, I see.
And frustratingly enough, when a box is full means different things based on the context of whatever it is. There are sometimes marking a box means you have a thing. There are sometimes that marking a box means you've spent a thing. It'll
Okay.
all become a little clearer, I hope, as we play. I'll try to explain those cases as we go. Um, cool. So yeah, Silver Surging Tide, you took an ability called Ghost. You can spend Scrounge as uses against traps or detection. So let me see if the book gives me any like additional before I translate it into my own words. So yeah, these are usually consequences of scout or rig rolls. And then so special armor, page 42. Let me get there. Do, 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 do. Like I said, depending on the circumstance, special armor or armor in general can often mean if it's a harm type scenario, meaning we're actively in combat, or you're in a situation where harm might be taken. Marking armor or special armor means you reduce the level of harm by 1. So level 4 harm becomes 3, 3 becomes 2, blah blah blah. In non-combat or non-harmful scenarios, it often means like I have a set of things that I can do, and it can be things like, cool, I'm going to put you in a desperate situation now. And you can say, I have special armor that resists that. And in that case, I go, you're no longer in a desperate situation, or things like that. Um,
Question.
answer.
So I'm thinking of taking Elite as my special ability, which is to gain mastery of 2 abilities. They can go, and it says they can go up to rank 4. So I assume the abilities are Insight, Prowess, Resolve, right? Or is that the?
No, actions. So um you're going to input actions once everyone's got their special ability selected.
Mm-hmm.
The trouble with taking elite at character creation means you don't actually, so uh at character creation, none of your actions can go above a rating of 2. Elite basically breaks that. So if you wanted more points in skirmish at character creation, then
Mm-hmm.
yes, you would want to take elite. Um, that's what that does. It doesn't actually give you those action points. It just lets you put points in them. Does that make sense?
I don't understand the difference.
Okay. So the next thing that you're going to do is I'm going to tell you to put 4 more points in any of those abilities to the upper right. You can allocate 4 more points to your character wherever you want them to.
Mm-hmm.
However, none can go above 2 to start with.
Yeah.
Um, let me double check something before uh I think you can go up to 3 with experience, but you cannot take any of them to 4 at any point in the game unless you take elite. So it increases your potential, and even though the dots are already there on the sheet, you can't actually use them.
Okay. Well, I
So
guess.
yeah, taking elite at the start is a
That's
choice.
kind of silly, but yeah.
Um, yeah, I take that as an interface thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will redo that then.
Also, I have some example starting builds for each of those. I don't know why the game doesn't make those available to you. If you don't want to think, here is for heavy. And again, you don't have to use any of these. They are inspirations. Here is Medic.
I changed my special move to Daredevil because
Unacceptable.
I'll be wild, and I think we have to be honest about this.
This is Officer, who no one here is playing at the moment.
I've got the book, so you don't have to pay Sniper.
Got it. Awesome. And I will do Scout.
Do we want sad medic or moral support medic?
I'm always a fan of sad, but you know.
I mean, why not both?
Yeah, why not both?
Sad moral
You
support
can be
medic.
sad moral support.
Okay, true. Do we want to be outwardly sad medic?
Mhm.
Inwardly
So
sad
no.
is kind of a given.
Yeah. Either way sounds fun to me. I feel like sad medic is a bit more of a not subversion, but like less the stereotype, so that might be fun.
So let's talk a little bit about actions. I think this is very similar in Blades in the Dark. So you notice that there's a line. You have dots, you have like a set of dots that are to the left of the line, and it's 1, and then you have like 3 to the right. When you do resistance rolls, they will fall into one of those 3 categories of insight, prowess, or resolve. What you roll for a resistance, when bad things happen, you can resist them and say no, they don't. At which point you will roll either one of those 3 things based usually on the skill that got us into the situation to begin with. Sometimes it might be a little different depending on what the fiction is. But what you wind up rolling is the amount of dots to the left of the line. So in other words, if you build wide instead of tall, your resistances will be better, but you won't be specialized. And in any one particular thing. So that's why you're seeing like those groupings together. Another situation, and this might apply mostly to Jazzy to begin with, but it's true for everyone. This game gives you an experience point anytime you roll a desperate action in the family of abilities that it falls into. So like Jazzy's taking Daredevil. So if she happens to roll a desperate action, a desperate scout or a desperate shoot, if she happens to roll a desperate scout, she would get 1 experience in insight. And that's just true across the board. If you roll a desperate skirmish, you get an XP in prowess, and you get that immediately, which can lead to mid-session rank ups. And when that XP is full, you add a new action or add a new point to one of your actions.
So we have 4 points to distribute between these 3 skills. We can't dip into specialist right now, right?
You have can you dip into specialist? That's a good question. I'm going to say, like, which are you looking at one specifically?
I was just more curious than anything.
I'm going to say yes, you can, but the problem is that those specialist actions down there, they do not, as far as I know, they do not add, like if you take, so you have Anchor to begin with, and that lives in Insight. But like there's no specialist resist. So if you take a point of, say, Grit, it's not going to give you like +1 to Insight.
Got it.
So it's, oh, actually, no, I lied. No, you cannot.
Okay.
Wait, no. Yes, you can.
I'm just throwing all the curveballs at you.
You really are. I love it.
No.
It's veteran. There's an advance called veteran in your special abilities that lets you take a special ability from another source. So like a heavy could take a scout special ability if they wanted to. But no, specialist uh uh the specialist abilities down there, you can take them. And like for everyone, grit's pretty useful. But again, it doesn't help you out for your resistances, and I think you'll find resistances can be quite nice.
Now, other question. So we've got these 4 points, and you said we can't go up past 2.
Correct.
So if I've got 2 in skirmish already, I can't add anything else to that right now.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Unless you take elite as your starting special ability.
But it wouldn't matter because I wouldn't be able to roll more than 2.
No, you would. If you take elite, if you take elite as your special ability, you can then put one or both of or 1 or 2 points in skirmish, and then if you want to, then and that's what you roll. Right now you have you would roll 2 dice to start with in your skirmish action.
So wait, why would elite not be a good thing to take at the beginning?
Sorry, no, it's not that it's not good. It's that it's not good if you don't immediately use it. So if you want to use it and then put 2 dice in skirmish, that's fantastic. You'll be an amazing sword fighter.
Yeah.
But when elite is not useful is if you take elite and then put your 4 points and none of them go above 2.
Got it. Okay.
Sorry, I might have let my own player biases slip in there a little bit. No, that is a strategy that you can do.
Okay.
I think there's also a heritage, maybe possibly, that lets you, like, some heritages let you start with 3. Like I think uh yeah, so like Orite has a heritage connected or heritage trait connected that gives you +1 sway, and it says you can start with 3 now. Yeah, but I don't know if there's one for skirmish. It looks like there is not. So yeah, if you want to start with if you want to start with a skirmish higher than 2, then you pick elite, and then you can put some of your 4 starting points into that if you want.
For the special actions, so I have aim. Just spend that point to do the thing, right?
Correct. Yes.
When do the points come back?
End of mission.
Okay.
They refresh. Yeah. Same thing with armor. Yet again, very very trophy gold. Whenever you go back to camp, which you do at the end of a mission, you get your armor and all of that stuff back. Any resources that you spend. Oh, notches.
And this might be getting ahead a little bit, but this has a standard blades trading position for effect thing. So
it does, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
In the end, we should have 5 points total. 1 that we started with and 4.
6, I think.
6.
6. Yeah.
Yes,
think
because
it's-
I was doing it while I was listening, and then half I was like, oh no, what were my starting points? Oh no. Okay, then I have 1 more to.
The medic starts with a few more, I think. Medic has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to start with and adds 4, so they should have 10.
Wow.
But yeah, I think everybody else starts with 4, so you should have 8. We have a Ben Mensky.
When is the fight to the death scheduled?
At Skydagger Keep.
Okay.
unless you start it sooner. Hello, Ben. Welcome back.
Hello, so sorry for the chaos.
No worries. Everyone else has selected specialist playbooks, and they left you with the officer who's literally in charge of a mission I have not told you about yet.
All right, love to be thrown in charge without any understanding of what we're doing or where we're going.
I will do my best to get you caught up to speed. Is there a way to fast track character creation with all of the information I've given so far? Probably not. So you all are going to get to hear this a second time. Fantastic.
There's the summary on page 68 that's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yes, page
Let me get
68.
signed
Yes.
back into
Ah.
Roll20.
That's actually what I was looking for earlier, and there's like an expanded version of it that I found that's over multiple pages. Like that's not useful to copy and paste. Um, so Benham, um, I apologize if anyone has if either of you Bens have anything you would like for me to call you other than Ben, please let me know. Otherwise it's going to be Benham and Benba. I don't know. Um, but Ben M, I've posted a quick little character creation summary here.
Got it.
And I will make some other resources available to you as well. So you'll be playing the officer. Also, everybody, yeah, if you've given yourself four more points in your action ratings, feel free to take this time, take 5 minutes if you need to, make tea, stretch, do what you need to, as I talk Ben through this.
Actually,
So Ben, welcome to the Legion. You'll be playing the officer. You're in charge of this mission. First thing that you'll probably want to do is select a heritage for your character. There are 4 of them to choose from. Bartons are very friendly, communal, very Arabic, Assyrian, Hindu kind of coded. They put beads. They wear like beads in their hair and have trinkets and stuff from close family and friends. Orites are technologically advanced. They're very Western European coded. They've Orites as a culture have invented steam technology, clockwork. An Orite rifle is like a repeating rifle where everybody else is using muskets. A fine pistol or an Orite pistol is a revolver where everyone else is using flintlocks. Things like that. They all also, every Orite has a title. It doesn't mean anything. You have a plot of land in Ireland. You can be a duke of a plot of land that has 1 tree on it. Or you can be a lady and have several acres. But everybody has a title. That's just a thing they do. Panyar have an animal trait. So if you do go with Panyar, you'll want to think about what that is. It means you've spent enough time in a magical dark forest that it's begun to transform you. So you might have antlers or cat eyes or fangies and toofies and things like that. And their names are all sort of deed based. They have a color, an adjective, and a noun component to them. And then Zemyati are the Vikings of this world. They're very machismo, very big warrior culture, very Nordic and Ruski inspired. Their names tend to be either like patronymics or matronymics. I again link the name generator for ease.
Perfect, thank you.
Dibbity doop. And that'll give you some examples of like names from the various cultures. If you want to use them, feel free. What else? What else? What else? Oh, so when you pick your heritage, you take 2 traits from that heritage, and you'll see little diamonds or chevrons next to them. You pick 2 and you click them, and they give you small little mechanical benefits.
Okay. I will go with Bartan.
Fantastic. I think you're the only Barton in the specialist group then.
I'll go with Stoic. And actually, I'll go with Educated and Pious. It's fun.
Love it. Pious is an interesting one. I'll talk about reliquaries. Oh, that was thunder and lightning. Fantastic. Cool. Next, you're going to pick a special ability. One thing I didn't tell everybody else, if so the game does something a little interesting, which it gives the most recommended version for I don't want to think about anything first. So in your case, that would be like tactician. If you want to take time and look over those, I can give you that time. But you're going to pick one special ability. And then you are going to go to the right, your actions or abilities, normal abilities, not special abilities. And you're going to put 4 more dots basically anywhere. I would
And
recommend not.
nothing can go higher than 2.
At character creation, nothing can go higher than 2. Yes.
Got it.
Unless you, neither of your. Yeah, so educated still just says Max-yuu. Also, you get 1 point of research from your heritage. So hello, thunder and lightning. So you get 1 point of research, and then you get to place 4 more points wherever you want. You have a special ability called channels, or not a special ability. You have a unique action called channels that's unique to the officer playbook. That interacts with sway, but you already start with 2 sway, so that's totally fine. And I'll talk more about sway channels and that later.
Mission first is a wild special ability, and I might take it just for the drama.
I'm gonna probably make this offer to everybody else when they come back, but if we get to the end of this first mission and you're like, I had no idea how this game was played, I'd like to change my special ability, I will allow that. So for today, don't feel hard locked into anything that you make. Yeah. Yeah.
One more question before I finish this up, because it won't take too long. Gaining mastery of 2 abilities means they can go up to rank 4, but that just means in the future, not right now.
It does mean right now. That
Right
said,
now.
what I was Jack asked the same question. It is only an ability that is worth taking if you are right now, if you are going to do that right now.
Great. Got it.
Yeah. I will also say again, I don't know if Blades in the Dark does this, but the first point that you take in any action increases your resistance for that field of, I don't know what they call them, like insight, prowess, or resolve. So if you put, 4 points into sway, if you take elite and put 4 points into sway, it's going to mean your prowess resist is probably absolute ass.
All right.
But I just want to make you aware of that. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying be aware of that.
All right.
People want to specialize their specialists. What a fantastic world we live in.
Attributes is what the categories are called.
Thank you.
Right. I am going to take mission first. Add the following at the end of mission XP triggers if anyone died under your command.
Incredible.
And I'll put points in maneuver, an additional point in channels, maybe 1 more in discipline and one in sword, just in case. That's 4. And I have an aim, so I think that's that, unless I also need to get a loadout set up.
We'll do loadouts. I'll talk about loadouts when everyone is back. But for now, go ahead and just take 5.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna also take 5. And we'll be right back. All right, we're back. People have made their specialists. So to do this sort of like cinematically, oh, I probably should catch our officer up to what the hell is going on. The Legion has been there used to be 1,000 men strong. You just suffered a terrible defeat at the Battle of Ettenmark Fields. There's now less than 100 of you. Most of the Legion has retreated across the Tigria River at a place called Hazelbrook Bridge. Your team of specialists and the Grinning Ravens, one of the squads of the Legion, were deployed north because in the process of the retreat, a caravan of blackshot, which is alchemically treated bullets, was oh sorry, we have a question in chat.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
No,
check if we were doing the elite thing correctly.
no, that is a good question. Let me count 1, 2. Hang on. Oh, so Jack, yeah, sorry. Again, I'm trying to find out the best way to explain how elite works.
Yes.
You still have to actually go about the process of assigning those dots. So elite doesn't give you the 3rd and 4th points of those dots. It just lets you put points in them. So as a heavy, you start with like 1 anchor, 2 skirmish, 1 wreck. Yeah, how do I yeah,
So I can only distribute
4
as
points.
so I can, okay, I think I get it. So it just means I can go above 2 points
Yeah, elite just
in
raises your
something I already have points in.
It raises the cap. It doesn't give you those points.
Got it.
Yeah, sorry about that. Again,
It'd be
yeah,
super cool if it did though.
I'm here to test you.
that would be fucking awesome.
I'm here to test you. That's fine. So what am I starting so I could just redo this?
Anchor
Also-
1, anchor 1, skirmish 2, wreck 1 are
Okay.
your starters.
Cool party. How do I unclick?
The last one,
Yeah, like I trying
uh,
control, trying shift.
oh no,
control.
Is it right click?
no, it's just click. If you just click on the one, it'll
Nope.
yeah, it does for me.
Hmm. Must be me. All right.
All right. Yeah. I'll let you figure out where you want to put those 4 points. And again, sorry, last thing, and then I'll get back into the mission briefing. Because most of you are new to this game entirely. If we get to the end of today's session, you're like, oh, I had no idea that's what that did. I cannot see the ability that I took being useful. I can't see the dots that I spent being useful. You can mulligan your characters and reassign stats or special abilities if suddenly you're like, oh, ooh, this is not actually what I wanted. Yeah. That's my gift to you all. You're not locked into these until like next mission phase. Cool. So yeah, we were talking about Blackshot. Blackshot is the thing that let humanity stop the undead advance like 3 or 4 years ago. And for a while, it looked like humanity was going to successfully like shove the undead back across to the west where they came from. And then they came back in numbers and in strength that they did not have before, that no one was expecting, smashed the Legion, smashed the Western armies, and has now been marching east. In the retreat, so the Legion, like I said, they retreated across Hazelbrook Bridge, several miles south. But in the process of the retreat, they left behind a caravan of this Blackshot. Blackshot's incredibly useful to killing the undead. It mechanically it increases the level of damage that you do against them by 1. It increases the effect rather. So it's very useful. It is also created by an alchemical process that now, because the chosen of the god who controls alchemy was broken, the process to create more Blackshot is itself very dangerous and corrupting. So without these supplies, you are in a very, very, very bad position. And so you've been deployed uh, to try and take these back. So to sort of give a sort of big bird's eye view, there are 2 major obstacles that you're going to have to deal with. First, the caravan has been overrun by the undead who are now entrenched in the area. You need to recover these crates of Blackshot. And then secondly, the Hazelbrook Bridge is now cut off. Or at least any path between you and there is cut off. The easiest thing to do, and all things relative, is you're expected to ford the Tigria River with these crates of alchemically treated bullets. So with all that in mind, I think, yeah, to give this a sort of like cinematic introduction, it's dark fantasy, so there's definitely like black clouds, distant lightning, thunder. To the south of you all, the ruins of the old capital of the empire, Carlsberg, can be seen just in an ember glow. It's burning. There's the distant screams of the undead offensive. And there's just like the gentlest of rain that could at any point become a much thicker and a much worse storm. But I'm going to say that the situation is risky because you are sort of poised over with an overlook of this camp, and you see a few wagons, more than 8, probably about 12 or 14 of these caravan wagons, all just sort of like pulled around each other. And most of them are in various states of disrepair, broken axles, broken wheels. There are arrows sticking out of them. Some of them are missing parts entirely. The pack animals that originally drew them are nowhere to be found, but there are bloody streaks everywhere. In this sort of clearing and open area, you see soldiers of one of the broken. His name's Render. Render has he was once Vlysim, the Shining One, a Zemyati chosen of the living god. Uh, and he's this world's Darth Vader. He is now, after being broken, he has a permanent face mark where the Cinder King pressed his hand to his face. He is not here, but in life, he had an order of holy knights that were sworn to him, the Knights of the Black Oak. And when he was broken, they went with him. They so loved Lysim and believed in him that they just switched sides. And they continue to serve him, even if as he's become this sort of macabre parody of the shining hero that he once was. There are 3 of these knights. Another curious thing about them, they've never been killed. They are not undead, but they are with some undead. 2 of which have sort of been already identified by the Legion and the military forces. But you see these 3 black armored knights fortifying this sort of open clearing, but milling about are undead, these sort of like shambling walkers. But what's interesting about them is that they've had metal plates drilled and grafted directly onto their body, metal plates drilled onto their foreheads, that like they have these sort of like facsimiles of like chest plates that are just sheet metal sort of drilled into them, that give them this sort of shitty armor. And then also under the control of the Knights of the Black Oak are a form of undead that people have been taking, legionnaires have been taking to calling hounds. These were once men, but whatever process by which they were created into undead, they've had their eyes sewn shut, their lips ripped off, their teeth filed to points, and there are chains that are attached to their ribs, their spines, their collarbones, and they are currently being held like dogs under the control of these knights. Each one probably has a hound to them. There is actually one of them, however, that looks slightly different from the others, and you've heard recon reports of these, or of this one. He's a pale hound and maybe slightly larger than the rest. And the troops have taken to calling him Eater, and he is a particularly dangerous hound that was seen across the battlefield during Ettenmark Fields. Yeah. And then last but not least, the Horned One is actually here with you. So I think behind you, slightly off, you see a girline of roughly 18, 19, maybe 20 years old. Unlike the rest of the Legionnaires who are in a sort of like outfit or uniform, she's just in this sort of like robe that it seems like she only wears because that's just what dignity suggests people should. But she has this raven black hair and 2 horns, or antlers really, sticking straight up from her head. So your tasks: get the black shot, which you certainly believe to be in these caravans. Actually, Mark, um, how do we know that these wagons were designated to carry black shot?
Hmm. Because they were unmolested by the undead because they didn't want to touch them.
Fantastic. Yeah, actually, I'll build off of that and say like one of the carts, you actually see the alchemically charred remains of a hound that touched one of these black shot and was immediately consumed in flame, and they just didn't bother to move the corpse, well, the corpse. Um, and you see it sitting there. Um, Officer, I have been tasked with asking you, like, there are 2 main general approaches to this. You can do the sneaky version, where you do some Metal Gear Solid stuff and maybe try and liberate these crates without being detected. It's going to be incredibly difficult because the undead have basically saturated this area. They're camped here. The other option is to go loud. Do you have any strong opinions as to either of those things?
I think, well, it would be great to get in and out without being seen. I think it's impossible and will leave us on the back foot. Better to just go in and do what we have come to do.
Fantastic. The commander would have reminded you, as you set off on this mission, that remember, your task is not to kill everyone. Your primary task is to get the black shot. But if everyone's dead, so knowing that this was the intent going across, the Horned One, she begins to approach the group of you. But for now, let's go around and we'll go from we don't have a character keeper, but we'll go from specialist order. So we'll go Ritter, Adramir, Shimya, Silver, and Gray. Oh, we have a Silver and a Gray. Fantastic. Um, we'll go through and just like give us a little bit about your character, basic look, your heritage, things like that. So Ritter, what does the camera see?
Ritter Snodkiskel. He is a statuesque man of about early 30s. Golden flaxen hair, just sort of slicked back, a bit wavy. Um, Despite the fact that he is a seasoned heavy, he does have this sort of fragrance to him to help sort of minimize the scent of sweat uh, and wilderness and war that pervades everyone else. Um, his armor is finely crafted. It is of the Orite tradition, so it is very much the standard, the state of the art. Uh, yeah, is there anything else you wanted to know about him, or?
Um, no, I think we're good. I mean, yeah, yeah. Let's go on. Let's keep going. Um, Adramir, camera pans over. What do we see?
Adramir is a tall Zemyati man. His full name is Adramir Theonovich. He, him pronouns. He has long brown hair, usually messy, usually falling about in his face, and probably raising some hygiene questions when he's doing his combat medicine. As a Zemyati, he always carries a ritual dagger because blood oaths are very important, and he is a combat medic. He starts out with attache, so he can go on any mission, even outside of the usual caps. And he starts out with first aid, so he can remove appropriate level 1 harm from any one person on a mission.
Fantastic.
Should I give him my traits too?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Sorry.
No, that's my bad.
It's my first time. Um, I took Noble, which boosts 1 campaign action for me. And I took Vengeful, which is potency when harm penalized.
Fantastic. Camera pans over to actually, I'm gonna skip Shimia because you're the officer. So you get last billing. Silver Surging Tide, what do we see?
Yeah, I think a little not like quite separated, but almost like a little standing off to the side. We see a femme person. She has her head tilted almost to like an uncomfortable degree, like an owl trying to sort of get like where the sound is coming from. She has eyes that are too big for their face, like again, to sort of this off-putting, uncomfortable level. And I think in general, like people are a little wary around her because she's extremely good at what she does. But she does have not quite a death wish, but she tends to be fearless to a degree that is not always super helpful to the people that are around her. And that coupled with her like kind of uncomfortable, like animalistic traits, where she's kind of just like moving her head around all the time, I think has have a few people being like, yeah, it's fine, actually. I don't need to be around her. And important to know or interesting to know is that silver in her culture means that she is an orphan, which might be where the death wish comes from. Who knows?
Fantastic. Yeah, silver in and like all of the color names mean something, but the book only gives us 2 of like what the color words actually mean. It's silver, it means you're an orphan. Generally also means you're quote unquote blessed by the moon god in some way. Also, fun note about the setting: the chosen of the goddess of the moon was broken in that earlier offensive, and when that happened, the moon shattered. So there is, I haven't quite exactly decided what specifically that looks like, but I'm trending towards there's an accretion disk now just kind of like drifting over the sky. And since you're not on the equator, you can actually kind of see like rings in the air, and every, now and then there are maybe some larger chunks of what was once the moon drifting in orbit around this world. So yeah, we'll learn more about that later, maybe. And then Gray Stalking Root. What do we see?
Yeah. Also, not apart, but a little bit back is a medium size, maybe even a little bit on the small side, but with a very long, fine rifle with all sorts of nice. It's like half has like nice little like filigrees and stuff, and half is like clearly worn and has been used and replaced a few times. They've got their hair kind of shorn short, not like in a buzz cut, but almost like fur length, I guess, which is appropriate because they also they don't wear boots. They have padded feet, kind of like cat feet. Helps them move quietly because I have the Penyar traits. I'm a traveler, so I can go fast and quiet when I have normal load. And I'm also marked, which means I can more easily resist corruption.
Forgot to say my traits. I also have the fast, quiet, and normal load, but I'm also shrewd. I have 1d plus 1 extra d6 for insight resists.
Fantastic. We'll introduce Shimya. But while that's going on, there's a section on your sheet called load. You get equipment. So unlike Blades in the Dark, where you like select your equipment as you go, you are given equipment by the quartermaster. I will tell you this is an assault mission, and the officer already has said that you're planning on going in, going loud. So you select a load, and so for every level of load that you take, you get everything that comes before it. So if you just select light, that's all you get. If you select normal, you get everything under normal and light. If you select heavy, then you get everything. But fictional positioning may let me say that like you're heavier, you're going to have less effect here. So go ahead and click one of those boxes for the level of load that you are at. Some of them have an or. So if it says like fine shield or fine heavy weapon, click one of those boxes saying which one that you have. And then below that, you also get to choose 2 boxes of utility. If it has 1 box next to it, that costs 1 load to take. If it costs 2 box, you must use both of your load on that. So for example, Black Shot, which I'm actually going to say you cannot take for this mission given the fictional positioning of where we're at. But a reliquary, for example, is 2 boxes. So you have to select both of those boxes before you get a reliquary, unless you're a Barton with the pious trait, in which case you get one automatically as part of your heritage. So feel free to go ahead and select those.
Can I ask a question about ammo?
Yes.
I see that there's 5 boxes of ammo next to the fine long rifle. There's also a check. There's utility ammo that also has 5 boxes. Does the rifle come with those 5 boxes of ammo, or do I need to get that in addition?
The rifle comes with the 5 and 3 black shot that you start with.
Okay. So if
The
I
ammo
wanted
that you
more
get in
ammo,
utility is 5 extra.
got it, got it.
And ammo in this game is per use. So anytime you do the shoot action, we don't care about tracking X amount of bullets. It is dynamic ammunition, if that makes sense. So one dot might be 5 shots, the next dot might be 1. We're not gonna split hairs on that. Anytime you use a shoot action, or if I tell you to, you will mark one of those ammo. Yeah. So yeah, the ammo and utility is extra ammo essentially. Cool. So with that all in mind, as you guys are selecting those things, the camera at last, we settle on Shimya. Shimya, what do we see?
I think towards the edge of camp with a few papers, compass, and a map spread out on whatever surface happens to be available. We see a fairly tall um, man who hard to tell exactly how old he is because he doesn't look that old, but when you get close, his eyes look um, extremely tired, very, very exhausted. Um, but he absentmindedly sort of puts his hand to a reliquary that he's wearing around his neck on a long piece of brightly colored cloth that complements the rest of his clothing, which is sort of the traditional Spartan um, colorful robes and cloth wraps. His long hair is tied back with beads, and he has intricate tattoos running up both arms from the elbow to the wrist. Um, and and he seems slightly out of place in that not only does he seem almost too tired to be alive, he also seems a little maybe slightly cleaner than you might expect, given that he's been in the field for this long. In addition to the reliquary, he's educated, so +1 to research. And what else? And he either has seen, well, he has, and he also expects to see more death under his watch. So,
Yeah, you took an interesting starting ability, mission first. So you have you have an additional XP trigger, which says if anybody dies under your command at the end of the mission, uh, you mark an extra XP. So I'm curious, have people died under your command a lot?
um, I would say they're not often, but there was one mission that went so far south that it's something that I've sort of become a hardline pragmatist about in order to protect myself.
Incredible. So I think as the Horned One approaches you, the camera actually pans over to our medic, Adramir. Um, Jazzy, the squad that you've been deployed with is a squad called the Grinning Ravens. Now, squads have kind of been cobbled back together with the survivors of the Legion, but the motto of the Grinning Ravens is "We grin at death," um, and that might just be a motto at this point. But one of the rookies, I'm gonna need a name from you. But which rookie is like the fucking new guy? The youngest, the most skittish, like the absolutely like uh yeah, unprepared for the shit that has been happening and that they've gotten into. Who is
Mhm.
that?
I think it's the Contessa Livia Zardani. Um, who, yeah, I think has just sort of been like chomping at the bit to prove herself and to, make all of this happen. I'll type it in the chat in case you didn't catch it. There we go.
I was slightly off on the spelling. Zardini. Fantastic. So the Contessa, Adramir, the Contessa, um, sulks up to you because again, everybody's kind of trying to keep down low over this ridge lest you be spotted by the Black Knight Oaks, and she goes, "Do you think we're gonna make it through this one? There's Black Knight Oaks over there's Black Oak Knights over there.
What's the alternative, Contessa?
Did we all that we all fucking die? I heard I heard that the officer heard that that Officer Isfahani. Look, we all swore our oaths, but I don't want to die like a fucking moron.
Then don't. Die like an intelligent soldier and listen to your officer.
Okay.
We
Okay.
will get
Okay.
through this, or we won't. All we can do is fight.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Shimya, the Horned One says, uh, I will draw off the hounds. I'll buy you whatever time I can, but I'm not going to risk significant injury in this fight. I'll simply pull them away. When they're clear, you go in.
Understood. Thank you for your help.
The Horned One is not oath sworn to the Legion. She's just kind of tagging along with you all. Um, she's chosen of the Horned One, a Panyar god. Essentially, Panyar god. Panyar essentially have two gods: the goddess of the moon, who is broken, and then the Horned One, who is basically god of the forest, animals, nature. Um, I have selected a trait for her to begin with. She is a shapeshifter. Um, Mechanically, that has an effect, but fictionally, I'm gonna ride that to the bank. Um, and and so as she starts to sulk away from the group, um, she moves to the north. So you are between this camp and the Tigria River. To the south is Carlsberg. The river is to your east. The camp is slightly to the west. You're on a ridge. But she's going to pad off to the north, and as she does so, the last thing that you see before you sort of like lose sight of her in the darkness and the rocks is she stops walking on two legs, and her robe has either like turned dark or has been replaced by a growing carpet of fur. You have a few seconds before she plans to launch her side of the attack, and so I think, yeah, let's talk about like Sniper and Scout. Are you with? So there are five rookies with you, and then there are the five specialists, but you two are the ones who sort of have like the easiest fictional positioning to be like, no, I'm actually not with the group. I'm someplace else. So let's start with Greystalking Root. Do you think you are still with the group here?
I think I want to be able to cover them. So if we have pointed out a route of attack, I'd like to get somewhere where I can watch that happen and pick off any threats as they come. So
Sure.
hanging back to whatever extent makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, let's so are you thinking this could either be like a scout or it could be a shoot action if you're planning on like just like providing overwatch. Shoot would be like I'm looking specifically for a vantage point where I could shoot things from.
Mhm.
Scout might be something like, similar situation, but maybe more of a utility use, like a choke point or something.
Um,
um
I think it makes more sense to do. I mean, I have two dots in either one. I think Scout is
well,
fictionally the more appropriate one. That's probably
sure.
just like me finding a good vantage point, whether it's like finding a good rock or up a tree or wherever.
Sure, fantastic. Um, there should be a thing about this. Sounds like more of a setup action than you're
Yeah,
not like actually taking direct effect.
yeah.
But I believe setup still has like a position and effect.
Mhm.
Do, 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 do.
And is this intended to like give a boost to an upcoming action or protect
Yeah.
them or?
So setup actions, again, kind of what it says on the tin. Um, you can either increase a position or increase an effect if my memory serves. Again, do I have a good handout uh for setup actions? I feel like it's one of the least used things in the game, actually. Um,
Anything specific about it? I think that's your
I-
call.
yeah. So for now, go ahead and give me a shoot or scout. You said you have 2 dice in either one, so it really
Mhm.
makes no difference.
Yeah.
So you have 2 dice. The position, so we already said what you hope will happen. You hope to be in a good spot.
Mhm.
Um,
And we're at risky, you said?
Yeah, let's go ahead and say you're at risky and standard. So the way you roll dice in this interface, you click on the action itself, and it should pop up a pop-up window. It'll first ask you what your position is, and then what your effect is, and then if you have any extra dice. So you can get extra dice a couple different ways. First, you can push yourself. Pushing yourself costs 2 stress. You can either increase your dice pool by 1, or you can increase your effect by 1 level. Because this is a setup action, I don't think I don't think increasing your effect will really do much because you're trying to increase your effect for a later roll or increase your position. Um, the overall position right now is risky.
Mhm.
Um, There is also Devil's Bargains,
Mhm.
which you can accept a Devil's Bargain for 1 dice. Are you interested in increasing your dice pool past 2?
I think I'll start off with 2 and see where that leads me.
Sure.
Um, hey, there we go. Partial success.
Fantastic.
Uh,
Um,
3 and a 4 before.
do, do. Um, I'm still looking for where the book tells me exactly what setup rolls do. This
Yeah.
book is organized like ass for what you want it to find. Let's see.
Oh, page 223.
I was too far. 223 for
It's under teamwork.
there it is. Fantastic. So yes. So yeah, because you succeeded, you either get 1 effect level or improve position on you can either give that to somebody else and say, I'm covering you.
Mhm.
Or you can hold on to it and I'm gonna say you can hold on to it. You do have a complication though.
Yeah.
And I think what that is you are isolated. The
Mhm.
best position that you can find is on the other side of this camp.
Yeah.
And you're a scout, so I think I'm going to say that you were easy enough able to just get there.
Mhm.
But now if shit goes down, you are isolated from everybody else. You can help them, but them helping you is going to take the sniper.
I
Speaking
got
of sniper, what are you up to?
I'm the sniper, not the
Oh,
scout.
sorry. Yeah.
Same thing, sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. Scout, same question. What have you been up to?
Yeah, so given that we need to get to this cart that is hooked up, is not pulled currently, but there are still animals attached to it to get it moving.
No, no. There are multiple carts. It was a caravan.
Mm,
And the pack animals that originally drew them have been taken and probably food for the
right.
undead. And many of the carts are probably in a state of disrepair. There are probably about 10 to 12 carts. Some of them have black shot in them, some of them might have other things in them.
Mhm.
But
Then I
yeah,
think I would love to give maybe scout or give us some more information about which carts to focus on and how to move them quickly once we get there. Because
sure.
otherwise we're there, but we still have to keep fighting or move them very slowly. So I think I want to maybe before we go in have basically a getaway plan. We get there, okay, then what? How do we move these things out quickly?
Fantastic. Um, cool. Um, so you get to tell me what skill you want to roll, but it does sound like this is justification for a scout action because you're doing active recon, right?
Yeah, scout a location or situation to gather information. That
Absolutely.
sounds fair to me.
Um, So I am going to say you still the situation that you are in and have been in is risky. Um, and I'm going to say that uh do you have any like special equipment? What load did you take?
I do have fine lenses that maybe I can use
Cool.
to like be a little bit further off, but still like get that information to be a bit safer. I also have a fine reliquary. I do not know what that means.
Reliquaries are used as special armor against
Okay.
corruption. So yeah, if I say something is corrupting and you take corruption, you can mark the reliquary up to 3 times per mission to reduce that effect, to reduce the
Okay.
amount of corruption that you take.
I see.
Um,
Well, I think maybe those lenses can help
sure.
with her already good eyesight, but getting even more.
Sure. Then I'm gonna say this is still standard effect. Because if you didn't have those, you'd probably be more at a limited effect. So go ahead and roll your scout. You have how many dice do you have to start with?
Two.
You have 2. So again, other people can assist you is another thing that can happen. Um, the way that other people would assist is they pay 1 stress to increase your dice pool by 1. Um, so if you have somebody else helping you, that can increase your dice pool. Is anybody else going with Silver Searching Tide? I think you're gonna have to watch them for a while, to sort of see like maybe which carts the undead are avoiding and which ones they're not. Or also some of the boxes might be just marked. Um,
Mhm.
If she wants Ritter too, you can oblige.
Sure. Yeah.
cool. So you would do roll risky, standard. Do you want to accept a devil's bargain? Or are you interested in devil's bargain? Are you happy with 3 dice in your pool?
I mean, I would love to at least hear it.
Oh boy. Devil's bargain. Let's see. What would be a good devil's bargain here? I don't know if I've got one for you at the moment, actually. Does anybody else
That's
have like
fair.
a good devil's bargain here? I mean, we're at the start of the game.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
I
make it as simple as like one of the like the best cart is heavily surrounded. Like there's
yeah. I was gonna say
um,
that, or as we're
farther than easy.
scouting, we see like one of the carts seems to have been made into like some kind of
Hmm.
prison almost, and it moves like it's holding something in.
Oh, actually, I know. I've got oh, okay, yeah. So that's one, is there's something in one of the carts. Um, the other devil's bargain that I'll offer is that the place that you decide to, or the best place to watch from, is itself, there's something unholy about it. Now you have a reliquary, so I'll offer you the choice of either taking 1 corruption, or marking your reliquary once. And remember, you have, I think, 3. Yeah, you have 3 marks on it. So you can use it up to 3 times. But I'll offer that as a devil's bargain. And if you choose that, then you're going to stay in this like corrupted, probably like a miasma or something. Um, and the corrupted fog will keep you safe, but it's also going to get inside you a little bit, you know? Um,
Sure. Yeah, let's start in a creepy ass fog. I can presumably get out there at some point. I would then say like 2 bonus dice, 1 for the
correct.
assist, 1 for the okay.
Yeah.
Submit.
What are we looking at?
Wow. It's a 1, a 3, a 3, and a 2. So 3 is
Cool.
the highest.
Um, and because you were assisted, Ritter is going to share in your consequences. Um,
Thanks, Jazzy.
You're so welcome.
immediately. Um,
Just looking. Whoops.
immediately. It's all gone to shit. Fantastic. So because of that devil's bargain, I do need to know, Silvertide, are you going to be taking one corruption, or are you going to mark your reliquary?
I'll mark my reliquary for now.
Okay. Um, so I think as you are as you were like watching the undead move and shuffle around, you've been watching these black armored knights for God knows probably hours while the others are going over this attack plan. um I think I'm gonna ride that corruption a little harder. um you have a fine reliquary. Fine will usually like reduce an effect, or it makes you count as threat too in cases where it's relevant. But because you're in a risky position, I'm supposed to hit you with level 2 harm. You have a reliquary, so you're going to take level 1 harm and 1 point of corruption. Uh, Ritter, do you have a fine reliquary, or do you have a, yeah, that would be
No, I've only got a fine heavy weapon and fitted heavy plate. I have a shield
sure.
and I have soldier's kit.
Cool. So I think Silver, as you are watching, you notice uh what creepy animal do I want to start with? Let's just start with ravens, because why not? You notice at the far side of this like this makeshift encampment built around these caravans. You notice sitting perched on one of the wagons um is this raven. Um and I think at some point while you're watching them, it looks back at you, and when you lock eyes, you see like these glowing red stars in its eyes, and a sigil, like someone had etched a rune in its forehead, begins to burn with this like crimson fire, and you suddenly just hear screaming in your head. Um, you hear, I think, the sound, the like an echo of the moon dying. Um, and your head is just suddenly filled with this like these manifestations of the moon breaking, of a person that you've never seen before, with a hand pressed to their face. You actually feel like fire beginning to like spread from your like third eye all throughout your face, down your body. So again, you're reducing the harm, but it would normally be level 2, but it's level 1 because of your fine reliquary. Um, Ritter, you're there with her. Silver, you start screaming. Um, Ritter, what do you do?
I think he's at first, before the screaming starts, just sort of looking out and sees there's the haze sort of starting to build, and he's not thinking too much of it. Maybe the weather's kind of shitty today, and so he's expecting a sort of haze crawling across the forest floor. But there's that moment where he can hear Silver start to shriek, and he'll sort of like shoot his head up and see her. I guess, what are you, like in the treetops or something, or?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I was like perched up somewhere, like very much like that owl-like trait again. And I think now it's like covering ears, just writing in pain, like my body doesn't know where to go to get rid of this ache, and just shrieking like at the sky.
Um,
Yeah,
Silver, take so level 1 harm, take ache, um, or like take splitting headache. And the way that you do this on your sheets, um, so the boxes don't the little tiny boxes, save those for later. but in one of the open boxes, yeah, splitting headache. The boxes are used for healing, or the tiny boxes are used for healing. Yeah. Sorry. Ritter, finish your narration, or if you've got anything more, let me know.
No, I think he just sort of like fires up a concern, but also frustrated glance up at her, and just sort of says, uh, "You're supposed to be quiet." And he's going to look around, seeing like what if she's like being attacked, or if they're
Oh,
being attacked, if they're like
I will say
what's
you can resist this if you want, Jazzy.
Oh.
Yeah. Before we get too deep
Sure.
into this fiction,
Mm-hmm.
resisting just basically says you take a consequence and you either say it doesn't happen or it's not that bad. What you'll then do is you'll roll the attribute, which is resolve, insight, or prowess. However many dice you have to the left there, and it costs stress to resist. And the stress that it costs is 6 minus the highest number that you roll.
And I assume if I don't, then the consequences immediately they're onto us, and we're in like a really shitty starting position because I just
Yeah.
gave us away. Even though
Yeah.
like we're going in loud, we're still gonna be like way on the back foot here.
Yeah, the other consequence is
Okay.
going to be that you're going to have a bunch of people looking straight in your direction,
Absolutely.
and you're probably going to be in a desperate situation.
Yeah, I mean, desperate rolls are good for me, but I'll be nice to everyone
For
else,
the
I
Ritter.
guess. I do have 4 resist and insight, and I rolled scout, so I'm gonna assume this is an insight, or is it like how I resist?
Yeah, so
Okay.
normally it would be like tied to the thing that you did, but because of the fiction, I think this feels more like a resolve insight, resolve resist, because you're trying to like not scream and fight these visions in your head, right? That sounds more like resolve to me.
I don't have any dice in resolve to
Oh, that's
resist.
bad. Um, that means you roll 2 dice and take the worse.
Okay.
Do you still want to resist knowing that?
Can I argue that it's insight because it says resist consequences from deception or understanding? But like this being placed in my head, I mean, I know that the moon is dead, but like the agony and everything around it, like that feels like that Raven is projecting into me this like, like it's not real. Sort
Sure,
of that, like it's not real. I don't have to feel this agony. It's being put upon me. It's like it's not real, this pain. Sort of that
sure.
kind of, yeah.
I'll buy it. Yeah, go ahead. And so the way you roll resists in this game is you click on, in this case, it would be insight. And I think it just does it because I don't think there's like bonus dice to
Yeah.
it.
I should have 4 dice if it rolls correctly.
Yeah, and if not, then you do slash.
Oh, I
Cool.
rolled a 6. There we
So you
go.
take so yeah, and sorry, the thing that you're resisting is there were 2 consequences, the damage which you took, and so this is the like you bite down, so like you still have a headache.
Yeah, I think it's
But
maybe like one, like we'll hear the shriek and then Ritter will make that comment of like, you're supposed to be quiet. And I think there is immediately like biting down on a hand and like sort of balling up completely like a frightened animal that's like been hurt and doesn't know where the source of the pain is coming from. Just like completely shrivels up, but stays quiet.
sure. So at this point, a giant fucking bear comes in from the north. Um this is the Horned One in a transformed state. I think the way you recognize her is that she has these sort of scars along her body, these sort of like ritual, these more sort of they look ornate, these carved like swirls into her arms and body. And this bear has much the same effect. Oh, also it has the same stag little horns poking up. So it is a big giant grizzly bear, but it has the little deer antlers that the Horned One has, and it bounds in from the north and it sort of roars at them. Um, and the knights, first they looked up to Silver and Ritter, following this sort of this shriek, but then you bite down on yourself, and immediately a much more important situation pops up. So I'm going to start at 10 o'clock here. The Horned One is going to lead off the hounds. And so what happens is the knights they let go of these chains, and the hounds go chasing the Horned One, who leads them off into the rocks and the hills to the north. Um, so now the situation is thus. There are three Knights of the Black Oak down in the bottom of this valley. There are these carts here, and there are still this undead, a pack of maybe about 10 to 14 of these plated undead called the Gaunt. That's where we're at. Shimya, what are your orders?
My orders, looking at the situation, are to engage.
Cool. So we can do
Who
this.
first, I guess, is the question.
Mom?
Who to engage first, I guess, is the question.
Yeah. Um, what's your answer to that?
Um,
Do you have a specific target you want them to attack, or is it more just a general? Um,
no, I think there's some strategy here. I think the greatest threat will be the Knights of the Black Oak, and we want to get them out of our way as quickly as we can, or at least keep them busy while we get to the carts.
sure. Um, and yeah, are you then ordering the Grinning Ravens to attack by fire, to go down and charge with melee weapons? They do have muskets, but it takes about 20 seconds to reload them.
Yeah, I think it's uh we'll fire first, and then when it becomes untenable.
Cool. Um, so I think the risky situation here is that because of the hills, you have to get a little closer than, maximum range to actually assault these guys. Um, but I'm going to kind of let you choose. We can do this a couple different ways. Marshall is the most straightforward kind of situation where it's like, I am ordering the squad to do things and do them well and execute a plan of attack that I have set out. And then we kind of set what all of the fiction is. There's also something called a group action, which is we can take everybody who wants to participate in a singular action, which in this case sounds like it would be like shoot or skirmish. And we put them into a giant pool and we take the best of, but everybody shares the consequences of that. That's usually for like big things. Um, and then yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Do you have any particular preference as to what this looks like? And don't think of this necessarily tactically, think of it like a TV show. So if the answer is I want to marshal the troops, then that's what it's going to look like. But yeah,
I
those
do
are
want to
kind of the options.
I do want to marshal the troops. I don't have any points in marshal, but
Ooh,
I can change that because I haven't made a roll yet, and I don't see consort as important to my character. So
fantastic.
I have a point in
Um,
marshal. Let's marshal them.
you have a point in Marshall. Fantastic. Um, yeah, Marshall is very good for
Yeah.
officers. Cool. So yeah, I think in this case, um, yeah, you want to just sort of like give weathering fire to everyone. Here's kind of the situation though, is you're firing into heavily armored uh opponents, and it even specifically says on the Gaunt that like um they're slower than most undead, but the armor can make landing shots particularly tricky at any range. So I think what you stand to risk here is that like the shots just prove ineffective. And so I think you're still at standard effect, but on a 4 to 5, it's going to be less useful than you hoped. Um, you have 1 point in Marshall. I think your position is risky.
Mhm.
Because again, you have to get a little bit closer than you really want to in order to have fully like organized fire. And also you don't have a specific target to fire at.
Right.
So we'll put you at risky. Standard effect. Um, does anybody else want to assist here? I think medic, you're in position to assist, but I think you're kind of the only one. Everybody else is kind of scattered around.
Yeah, I am a combat medic, so let's skirmish if we're skirmishing.
Um,
Or
so you'd be assisting the marshal, so you'd be assisting the organization of like this,
I see.
like, yeah. Um,
I don't have a point in martial, but I can.
you actually don't really need one.
All right.
If you want to assist, you can just mark one stress and you will increase Shimia's dice pool by 1.
Cool. I will do
Awesome.
that.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Shimia, are you interested in either pushing yourself or doing a devil's bargain?
So that was 1 bonus dice. Sure, let's hear Devil's Bargain.
Devil's bargain. Okay. You have a situation with the rookies. I am going to say that the Contessa, um, you're going to be asked to swear an oath to get everyone out alive, like leave no man behind. Actually, you're not Semyati, so blood oaths are not your thing. You're Barton. Um, I still kind of want to do something where it's like, yeah, your situation with Mission First is like a troublesome thing, but I'm not coming up with anything like mechanically necessarily. Oh, I'll offer you this devil's bargain. You have to lead from the front. That just like the way that lines of sight are coordinated, you have to be standing in front and do the like sort of like point forward and shoot kind of thing, to get everybody to come out and follow your orders, which means basically you'll be at risk of taking harm in the case that this doesn't go well.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Cool. So that puts you at 3 dice. Yeah, 2 bonus dice. We're still at risky and standard.
Yep. Okay.
Go ahead and give me that roll. What are we looking at? 5 high.
Yep.
So you do it at standard effect. Actually, I did say that you were at risk of doing less damage, and so I think what you see is these bullets, this volley of bullets, just plinks off of their armor, and you just hear plink, 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 plink. So I am going to start a clock for these black knights, these black oak knights. Uh, uh, and I am going to tick one segment on it. Normally standard would be 2, but limited, your effect is reduced because of the 5 instead of a 6. So that is where we stand there. Ritter, the volley, like the volley kind of goes off. You hear the clap of gunfire. Your charge has sort of gotten herself in order, but what are you up to now as the heavy?
Um,
Are you going to
so
keep covering are you going to keep covering silver or take a different
yeah, I mean,
direction?
I'll keep covering silver, but like I guess I'm wondering. So the first threat that he sees is the hounds chasing, or the hounds were led off by the horned one.
Correct. Yes.
Got it. So then, what is there to hit?
Um, I'll say that so there are the gaunt and there are these black oak knights. Um,
Who do you think is closer though? Is it going to be the Gaunts because they're slower, but it seemed like the
Yeah,
knights were sort of standing
the
back
black oak,
with.
yeah, the black oak knights definitely will. There might be one of them. In fact, let's just have some fun, and let's say that one of them indeed, still like having heard that sort of like squeal, from Silver Surging Tide, is going to come your way.
Let's go.
Cool. So yeah, this heavily armored black metal knight like has a flanged mace, and you see them sort of do that like clap clap on their shield with it. And yeah, I think this is going to be so skirmish is the easy answer here, but if you have anything
Yes.
else you would like to do, I'm keen to hear it. Um,
Um, yeah, possibly. I'm wondering if I could say that wondering if I could say that my fine heavy weapon is like maybe like a it's not a sword, but maybe more like a war axe or whatever they're called, like a battle axe. Um, and I want to know if maybe there's like some kind of like tree that's like compromised that I could maybe chop down fairly quick to sort of slow that knight down, or at least slow down the gaunt that are sort of shambling behind them.
what are you hoping to accomplish here?
I'm hoping to create an obstacle between them so that Silver can get to a sort of position that they feel capable of because they're a little bit off their kilter right now. I'm also wanting to sort of maybe even maneuver myself in a position that's more advantageous so that I have the time to do that while they're trying to figure out how to like get over the tree or to figure out how to get through the obstacle.
Okay. Um, Normally I would either like resolve this as like either like a fortune roll or a setup action. But simply because of timing, I think fictionally we can just have this be a roll that counts straight towards the clock.
Okay.
Um, but it now sounds like to me you're almost doing like a maneuver.
I thought I was doing a wreck, but I can do
Oh,
maneuver as well.
yeah, rec. I'll also accept rec here.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. So you're hoping to either like cut off the gaunt. Do we still have that one black knight, black oak knight, um, coming towards you, or do we think that's no
Yeah,
longer
yeah. I
part of
mean,
the
I
equation?
figure I'm just trying to create like an obstacle between us and them. So whoever them is, they have
Sure,
to deal with it.
got it. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do just a rec roll. I think this is standard effect because again, you know what you want to do. It sounds I don't see anything getting really interfering with that.
So
You also
risky
have a
or desperate or
yeah,
controlled.
I think you're in a risky situation. If it
Okay.
doesn't go well, I think you're going to be in a desperate situation. Silver Surging Tide, you're in position to assist here. Also, Gray Stalking Roots, you specifically gave yourself like line of sight. So you can either you can only accept one assist. But if either of you want to provide assistance, you can. Gray Stalking Root, you also fictionally did a setup action, so you can say this is where that comes into effect if you want
Gonna
to.
let him like see what he's got first.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you have in rec, Ritter? You have one.
Just the one.
Okay.
So
Um,
if, someone wants to throw me an extra die or a devil's bargain, I won't be mad about it.
And we can assist just by burning a stress, right?
Correct. It's one stress to provide one dice pool to somebody who can.
I will do that. I'll burn a stress to throw you an extra die, and that's just like a little pop, pop, pop covering fire.
Sure.
Question, would I have had to mark stress for that assist on Silver's earlier roll? 'Cause
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
See, I'm trustworthy like that.
Oh my God! Look at us. You guys are doing so well. I'm doing so poorly. No.
No.
Hush your mouth.
Um, so currently, yeah, you have one bonus die. Do I have a devil's bargain for you? Uh, I mean, it would be really funny if the devil's bargain was it's the tree that Silver's in, but I just see that complicating me with more rolls down the road. Um, uh, do I have a good devil's bargain? Let me see what equipment you have. Anything fun might be lost here. Not particularly. Um, I don't really have one. If anybody else has a good devil's bargain, I'd be keen to hear one. But we might also just roll with 2 dice, see what happens.
Please, someone give
It
Um,
it may just be the getting in there means you're gonna be surrounded, not just with the targets you're engaging, but with more.
Okay.
I mean, if the goal though is to cut them off, so to clarify, Ritter, you want to cut them off from
Yeah, I
view and
want to create space
Silver.
between us and them, essentially. I want to make their path more treacherous
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
What if the devil's bargain is like, sure, that works, but we see like this very dramatic, like the tree goes, thunders down, and the roots go up, and like all of the ground becomes unstable. So like on our part as well. So they're fucked, but we are also kind of fucked.
Meant to fucking us.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna put you guys in probably desperate position if the roll went poorly anyways. Um, uh, but yeah, I'm willing to say that like your situation gets desperate as like the ground gets unstable around you. Um, yeah, I'll offer that. Which mechanically would again put probably the both of you in sort of a desperate position.
Party.
Cool.
Hey.
Oh my God, a critical. Criticals in this game are 2 6s. There are no critical fumbles because fuck critical fumbles. They're the worst. So you do it with increased effect. Uh, I'm just going to translate that literally because again, time. So what I think this looks like is uh exactly what it sounded like, which is um you provide space and distance. I'm gonna like leech off of this description and say that like Silver Surging Tide, you're probably firing at them this whole time, right?
Um, Sure. There was a part
Theoretically.
of me that's like, would it be interesting if I use this opportunity to hide myself and ambush them? So they think it's only Ritter, but I'm there as well. I don't know
Then
if the critical could help with that.
then yeah, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna kind of like weave all that together because again, we've got like 30 minutes left in the session. So if you don't mind, Jazzy and Jack, I'm gonna just sort of like roll that into all that together because you were at standard effect. Critical means you do it with great effect, which actually means it's going to be 3 ticks on this clock now. Um, dupe. Um, and I let's do this in quick formation. Ritter, how do you set up Silver for this ambush? And then Silver, take what Jack sets you up with and spike it home. You're going to get to kill one of these Black Oak Knights, and I'll ask you what that looks like. But Ritter, take the narration.
He doing a quick dash, or quickly looking around, he dashes over to a tree that's thick but looks older. Uh, and so he just sort of takes off his very ornate looking battle axe, just sort of starts swinging into it with only a few very hefty thrusts of his axe. He manages to fell it. The roots pull up and it sort of tumbles down, pushing down a couple maybe of other smaller trees with it. And he kind of smiles and chuckles to himself, puts his axe on his shoulder, waiting for them to come.
And Silver, how do you get the ambush killing blow on
Yeah.
one of these knights?
Um, I think because of their armor, like they're kind of they're taking the hits, and I think, or at least like I have a hand weapon, so I imagine like a small blade. So Silver like looks at these and she's like, okay, there's not much I can do. But I think with where there's distraction, she will almost like slither almost like a snake through the grass and like through the cracks in the armor, like where the knee has to have some space just to bend. She will behind him like just pop up and like stab her blade like through the backside and through his knee all the way up and then like whack it, just fully wrecking his knee. He goes down, and I think Jack, if you're okay with it, I think as he goes on his knee, Ritter just with the axe, just off goes his head.
Yeah, I'll just kind of saunter over and say, poor thing, and just sort of, yeah, like a shovel, just cleave it off.
Fantastic. Let's check in with the medic. Adramir, I think it's been a moment since we've seen you. Last we saw you, you were helping with this sort of helping organize this sort of the marshal's attack, the officer's attack. Um, the grinning ravens have launched their fired their muskets, and then a lot of them just like drop their muskets and draw swords. But I think one of them hesitates. Um, uh Shimya, Ben, we've already learned about the Contessa, but I would love another name of another one of these rookies. And who's the conniving one? Who's the one who like is totally gonna be like in the fight, and then everybody charges and they hesitate a little bit longer than everybody else because they don't want to be the first one into the fray.
I think it's um, let's see. I think it's a Zemyai warrior who Foster talks a big game, but is a bit of a coward when it comes to it.
Oh my God,
Um,
we love secret cowards.
let's go thanks to this very good name generator. Pule Many Tongue Yongai.
Let me see if I can find that one
I'll
because I see.
drop that in the chat.
Fantastic. So Adramir, you see Many Tongue. Um, you see the other four grinning ravens draw their actually it's probably spears take their spears and go charging down the hills, and you see Kole Many Tongue like also take out a spear, and you see his eyes dart over and he goes yeah, but he like just kind of stands there. What do you do?
What are you doing? You've sworn an oath to them. Go.
um Fantastic. um I do think this is either going to be like, a martial or discipline. But you tell me how exactly, like, one of the things about this game is you tell me the action you want to roll, and then we figure out what that looks like.
That feels like discipline, command, obedience, using force of personality.
Discipline is the perfect action for this. So how many points do you have in that?
I have 2.
Fantastic. So you have a starting dice pool of 2. Um, I will say that the officer is in position to assist. Um, but I think that's kind of it based on what it sounds like fictionally everybody's doing. Officer, would you like to provide assistance, provide aid here for 1 stress?
Oh well. Yeah.
Cool. Mark 1 stress. So that dice pool is now +1. Adramir, you can push yourself. So you're hoping to get Many Tongue in the fight before his friends start dying. I think nothing's really changed fictionally to like increase or decrease the position uh specifically. So I'm gonna still say you're at risky. Um I think the effect is standard because you're doing exactly the right thing to do here. Um Let me know if that doesn't check out. But
No, it makes sense.
yeah. Are you interested in hearing a devil's bargain?
Always.
Um so uh devil's bargain here. You're both Semyati. Um I will offer you a devil's bargain of actually, I was thinking something similar, Jazzy, but in past tense. You've already sworn an oath to protect this Semyati, and if he dies ever in this campaign, you will take some form of harm of the grief of of him falling in combat. And we can refine the details of this later, but in my head it's something like you swore a blood oath to like his parents or something, like uh something along that nature. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Cool. If you would like, please make a note either like on your sheet, there's a note section. Just something along the lines of like blood sworn to protect Kole, or many tongue, however you need to word that. But you get +1 dice.
Cool. So that's rolling with 2 bonus dice then?
Yes.
All right. Success.
Mine lands. All right, cool. That is a 6. So you do it. And he gets into the fight. Standard effect means that there are 2 more marks on this clock. And yeah, the 2 of you, the officer and medic, tell me like how is this going? Like give us a little bit of like the Hollywood the fight budget. Rookies are typically armed with like spears, but they're doing it. And like how does your getting Cole into the fray like save some of the rookies?
I think Adramir hangs back just a little, but he's at the edge of the fray as well with his axe. He doesn't leave them to fight and clean up the mess at the end. He's there too.
And I think the support that Azumir lends from the back as Shimia towards the front hears this yell and the threat of almost desertion. Um, Sort of glances back, gives a nod to Adramir, and between the 2 of them, uh, Chloe comes running towards the fray, probably just as another rookie is like a little distracted and going to take a pretty dangerous hit. I think
Yeah.
Chloe probably intervenes just in time.
Fantastic. And we do have 2 ticks left on this clock, which is definitely threat range for the sniper. So I am going to give this to Gray Stalking Roots. It sounds like you are perched in an area. You haven't used that setup action from earlier. So if you want to phone that in now, you absolutely can do so.
Yeah, I've just been sitting there watching everyone kick ass through the scope.
Cool. Let me know if it sounds like anything other than shoot, but I think it's shoot, buddy.
100% shoot.
Fantastic. You are so without phoning in your action, you are at standard effect. You are still in a risky.
Get that action.
Cool. So you're gonna move that up to great effect.
Mm-hmm.
You are still in a risky position because there are rookies who are fighting on the line. You are not so much at risk, but the rookies are at risk because they are in the thick of it. The fighting is at its thickest. So yeah, you are still in a risky situation.
Mhm.
Um,
I would like to trade position for effect and get a desperate shot.
okay, a desperate shot for extreme effect. Um, fantastic. I yeah, and you equal your fine rifle means you're equal threat with the knights.
Mhm.
So this would normally affect 4 ticks on the clock, but you only need 2.
Yeah,
Um,
doing it for love again.
then for your previous setup, are you sure you? I think you can take +1 dice instead.
Oh, I will. I will.
Let me check.
Yeah.
That was page 223. No, it's improved position. Never mind. I lied. Um, so yeah, you're at extreme effect. Desperate.
Fantastic.
How many dice do you have?
I'm starting with 2.
Cool.
Um,
Um,
push myself for another one.
okay, so +2, you take 2 stress for that.
Mhm.
Um,
Can I take a devil's bargain on top of that, or is it one or the other?
who, who, um,
I
that
don't
is
remember
a,
which one it is.
I know there's like, you can only take you can take
Yeah.
a devil's bargain for one or the other, but I think, if you push for effect, you can still take a devil's bargain for a dice.
Okay. I will not do that then. I'll just take the extra die for the stress. But if someone wants to help, I'll take that 4th die.
Is anyone in a position to help? Because we did say it was from a previous consequence that you were isolated. So
Yep.
I'm going to say you cannot,
All right.
no one is in position to help you.
Fantastic.
Um, yeah.
Going with 3 dice then.
All right. Show
Uh,
me them bones.
Reading, desperate, extreme with a 1 bonus die. Nothing could go wrong, right?
Oh, things
Partial
can go
success.
wrong. So the good news is this is going to wrap up the combat. You're going to get the killing shot as you wanted. I'm not even going to do math because you did it. However,
I think that just for fictional positioning, the desperate effect was like I wanted to make sure I got a dramatic shot, and I may have let other people put themselves in a risky position in order to wait for them to get in position for me. Like so
yep.
I could like shoot through 2 of them or something.
Yeah, so here's the situation. Because of the gaunt, um, the your adversaries are at scale. They're essentially at what would be classified as scale 3. The squad is at scale 2 because you have 5 to it's like 6 to 9. The gaunt bring the scale of the enemies uh uh to scale 3. You were in a desperate position, which means you waited long to take this shot.
Yeah.
So that means um 3 plus the difference in scale of 1. Um you have a fine rifle versus their threat, so threat is equalized, so that doesn't add or subtract anything. But the current situation is 4 rookies are going to die.
I would like to resist that.
Cool. Um
I think it's going to be with prowess because I will be picking off the ones that are attacking the rookies.
Yeah. So instead of 4, now 3 are going to die. Other people can step in. Adramir and Shimya, you can put yourselves like in harm's way and go and step in front of blows if you want. That's the protect action. We'll talk about what that means. But for right quick, Greystalking Roots, go ahead and give me your, what is it, prowess resist, I think.
Yeah. 3 stress. That fills me up. 1 more and I'm
Okay.
good.
Stress, the way that it works in this game is you can max if you ever have to mark stress and can't, you take a trauma. So filling, not bad. Or I mean, filling
Great.
is filling's
Not
not
the
great, but yeah,
problem.
not the problem situation yet. But yeah, so what does that look like? Do you like you just see some of the gaunt like coming in and just like bop one in the back of the head, say there's no
I think
purpose?
it's me like picking them off as I'm like waiting for the perfect shot, and I see them coming at the rookies, and I'm like trying to clear the field while they're rushing in.
Fantastic. Also, because you rolled a desperate action, take XP in that attribute. And you got notches, so you're allowed to give yourself an XP in I think whatever you want.
Yep.
Fantastic. Also, I'm trusting you to track your own ammunition. Yeah. Cool. So we have currently 3 dead rookies or dying rookies in the course of this melee. Adramir or Shimia, you can take the hits for them if either of you would like. And each of you can save like one rookie, or you can take harm twice if you want. If you want to save all 3 of them, one of you can take 2 hits.
I will do that.
Do you want to save 1 or 2?
I'll save 2.
You will save 2. So okay. This is where things get really funky. Because I have to do math. They are 1 scale above yours. It was a desperate position that we started in. Do you have fine armor?
I do not.
You do not have fine armor. Woof.
But I do have bold, which gives me +1 die on resisting desperate actions. Would that come into play here?
Interesting question. Can you resist somebody else's action or somebody else's consequence? I
think
think
you can. I think you still can. Yeah. I don't know if he's in position to do so, but we can.
I reserve the right to change this ruling down the line, but I'm going to say just for time's sake, I'm going to say you can. So what that looks like is you're going to protect one of the rookies. Actually, we're going to do this twice, so it's going to be sort of like a layered thing. But it's going to be 2 of the same instances. So you would normally take your threat 1. The Gaunt are the primary opponent here, even though there is a threat 2 on the field. It's the Gaunt that are giving them that scale, and because that's a majority of their field, I'm going to say they're technically threat 1. So we're even there. Desperate action is 3. Difference in scale, however, although
And sorry, I don't have fine armor, but I do have armor and a shield.
right. If you had fine armor, you would count as threat 2.
Got it.
Is what fine does. However, you can mark 1 of each to reduce a level of harm, but you have 2 instances of level 3 harm coming at you. If you ever cannot fill a box of harm, it goes to the next level. So I think you only have 1 level 3 harm box to start with.
I do, yes.
So it would be a level 3 and a level 4 harm. If you mark, oh boy, let's take 1 hit at a time. So you have level 3 harm incoming. You're going to have another level 3 harm incoming right after that. Do you want to, if you resist, that level will go down by 1, but then you roll your resist. Would you like to do that for this first hit?
I would, yeah.
Cool. Prowess resist. Go ahead and hit me with them digits.
Prowess resist. I just hit prowess on that, yeah?
Correct. Yeah. Should just click prowess and it should just do it for you. Okay. You take no stress, but it's going to be level 2 harm. Would you like to mark either your armor or your shield? Each one reduces it by 1, so you can reduce this first hit to 0 harm.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. So first hit, 0 harm. Go ahead and click the little circles next to armor and shield. Second hit, 3 harm. You have no armor, no shield, but you can still resist this via prowess. Would you like to do that?
I will.
Cool. It's going to be level 2 harm. Go ahead and give me another prowess roll. Jesus Christ. Okay, cool. However, there's nothing else you can do here. So you're still going to take level 2 harm. And I think it's just savage lacerations. So in either of those 2 boxes, just type in savage lacerations. And anytime that would affect, it's kind of like conditions. Anytime that feels like that would affect the situation at hand, which is going to be most of the time, but not all the time, you have -1 dice to everything. Until that gets dealt with back at camp. And funny enough, you're the medic. We still have 1 dead rookie. Shimya, do you want to take a hit, or do you want to let him die?
It pains me, but we're more important than there. That's the reality of it.
Fantastic. I don't want to phone in this devil's bargain just yet. I just want to keep going through character creation. Gray stalking root. Give me a name. Um,
Um, Fairly.
Fairly.
Yeah.
Do they have a surname or a family name?
I think that's their last name. I think
Oh,
their first name is Simon.
Simon Fairly. Um, and yeah, just over the course of the melee, you might not even see exactly how he dies, but Simon Fairly, uh, when the smoke clears, and you do the sort of like, all right, everybody, sound off who's still alive. There is a meaty pulp where Simon Fairly have been fighting. Um, Rest in peace. We are getting close to time. Um, and I think just because like the next obstacle is not going to be a very difficult one, but still like something that I'd like to like introduce like environmental challenges. I think we're going to hold off to resolving the actually getting the black shot across the river for the top of next session. Does that sound cool with everyone?
Mhm.
Fantastic. Is there anything anyone needs before or needs to narrate or get on the table before we move to stars and wishes?
And since we're
Fantastic.
not ending the mission, we're not doing the XP for that, right?
Correct. Yeah. Look over your XP triggers. Like, there's something for like if you bring in your heritage. No one has a trauma yet, so that won't
I think
fire
that's
off.
a mission end one. Yeah.
Yeah. But make a mental note if you think you've done that. Maybe make a note on your sheet as to like, I did this thing. Um, but for now, we will transition into debrief, stars and wishes. I put an extra tab on the lines and veils. So that might change its name. But let's do some stars and wishes, guys. Stars, things you liked about the game, the session, just stuff in general, other players' role play. And wishes are things you hope to see, ideally in the next, 2 to 5 sessions. Um, Whoever wants to start, or I'll pick people out of a box.
I'll go if no one else wants to. I am super excited about this. This is, I feel like this is the game that I wanted Blades to be. So yeah, this is super cool, and I'm really excited to play with you all specifically. It's gonna be a great time. I Characters all super strong starts. I'm also looking forward to seeing how the troop play works with those instead of just like being my guy. And yeah, everyone got a chance to show off. Really cool. So that was fun to see. And yeah, um, running the game, super sweet. So well done all around.
Yeah, mad stars to you, Kevin, for putting this together and guiding us through this. I don't know what I'm doing at all. I barely have a grasp on anything. But that is not to your fault. That is just my brain. And this is probably the heaviest game I've played in quite a long time. So I'm like, oh wow, there's mechanics. Um, so definitely still wrapping my head around it. And that's my wish is to uh, fully wrap my head around it, at least to a point where I feel capable and that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what to really expect, but I really am digging the vibes. I like the our initial sort of mission. I like the world building that's happening that I've been exposed to so far. Seems very tight, very cool. I'm really here for everyone's characters. I want to know a lot about them, especially like this whole thing with Shima being too tired to live. Um, there's got to be a history, a story there that I'm really interested and keen in learning. I want to know why Admir is sad. Um, I want to know. I feel like there's something. I don't know what it would be or is or could be between Silver and Gray. But them coming from the same background, culture, and also the sort of similarities between their own names, Silver and Gray. I feel like there's potential there for some interesting dynamics that I want to see explored. Um, yeah, I guess yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just really trying to get a grasp on the mechanics of everything. And um I guess my wish slash question is this really uh like what is the sort of divide between combat and simulationist, specifically like simulationist combat and like flavor, and then also like RP. Like I'm still a little unsure of like what those ratios are. So I'm curious to see how those shake out. But yeah, I'm coming in with a with an open mind to see how I handle it, and hopefully my wish for next time is that I get a better grip on it. But yeah, thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, stars to everyone for just a great start. Sorry I was late. I think this is going to be super fun. Great group, and Kevin, good running it. Like everyone has said, there's a lot of moving parts, but that only works if you have someone who does know what parts are moving. Because you know, I'm really just gonna show up and vibe pretty much exclusively. Uh, and that's just sort of how it will be. But I think it'll be good. Um, I get the sense that as long as the like overall look of what we're doing, and if you continue, you've been emphasizing the cinematic nature of it all, I think uh, it'll be great. It's already great. In terms of wishes, um, I'm really curious about the overarching structure of it. I think that's the like most unique thing about this system as I understand it. And so I'm very curious to see both like what Legion roles will settle into and how that'll inform our relationship, not just with our specialists, but with the whole entity that we're supposed to represent. I'm very curious about that. That's it.
I will mostly echo what's been said. I am really into the vibes here. I've never really played like a military fantasy game, and so this is interesting and fun. And yeah, Kevin, you did a great job guiding us through and managing all this. It's a little bit, and thank you for taking the time to not panic and get this rolling for us. Wishes. I'm definitely looking forward to learning more about the meta roles and how those work and how we shake that out.
Yeah, star for the paid look on Kevin's face whenever he had to do math. That delighted me. Very funny. No, but like as everybody said, you were doing great. You were guiding us through it great. I had to make fun of you a little bit. Um, other than that, I really liked how because we kind of know that these characters aren't ours necessarily. I felt like everybody came in like with very strong vibes to be like, if you want to take this character, this is sort of their deal. And leaving like a lot open, where it kind of can go a lot of ways why somebody might be this way, but giving enough to sort of grasp onto. And so, sort of similarly, I really like that just because like Jack, you chose to have like Ritter go with Silver, like to me immediately, like that kind of suggests that this maybe has happened before. Like you're sort of not necessarily their minder, but like you're doing all the heavy wrecking while Silver is sort of looking for the, oh, I'm just gonna strategically stab here and then skirm off again. Um, so that was a very fun pairing to me. Same sort of with the officer and our medic, having the officer like be the phase and be the leader, but then it's kind of the medic who like stays behind and is like, no, go follow that goddamn order. You were ordered to do something, so go do it. Which I thought was very interesting to see that sort of like happen twice, where it's almost like this right-hand man feel where people come to the medic to be like, do you want a tea? And the medic is like, no, just do your fucking job. Like, what's wrong with all of you? Which did delighted me. I thought that was very funny to kind of see that repeated. I think that Blood Oath is really interesting. Obviously, that means it's open season on Kole. Many Tongued is diabolical. Absolutely a vile name. I hate it. Absolutely gross. Love it. Yeah, and I loved Mark. Yeah, I hope that in a few sessions I can be you and I can be as confident in me like, yeah, I'm gonna switch position for effect and then I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna tag that on and then I'm gonna take this because I was like, what the fuck? Why are you speaking a different language? How do you know how this works? That was very impressive. That was really cool to see. Very inspiring to be like, okay, there is like sense in the madness. I can get there. I can do this. Um, that was really cool. Yeah, I want to see that blood oath be tested. I want to see the officer get in trouble for always letting people die on the missions because at like at some point, this is troublesome, okay? And yeah, similar, very interested to see like what is the next phase of this? How does that look? How does that impact how we play if we come back to these characters? Who comes back to what? Interested to see where it goes.
That leaves me. Stars to you all for especially the folks who are coming at this more open-minded. This is definitely got way more moving parts than many games that I've played with you all. And so thank you for trusting me, Stars to you all, for trusting me with like just being like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. But also with um I I'm gonna try and focus on the cinematic nature, very, CFB-esque, and really make the fiction kind of forward, and only let the game make problems and snags of me when the game absolutely insists that that's what has to happen. Um, of course, I'm going to continue trying to put rookies in danger because that's also kind of my job. But I am less interested in the Crumshy board game-esque mechanics than I am like really writing that cinematic storytelling aspect of it. And that might not be how every Band of Blades GM runs this. I already know there are decisions that I've made as a GM just in this very first session that are different than other Band of Blades GMs that might run this. But that's kind of the fun of it. And I know it's fun for me, and I think I suspect what's fun for the folks at this table, given the games I've played with you guys in the past. So yeah. But yeah, the system mastery stuff, if you get it, great, fantastic. It's a tool in the kit, but I'm just gonna keep coming back to like either like A, what do you want to roll, or B, what do you want to do? And we work together to establish the fiction and keep the fiction strong is my main goal. But yeah, stars to you all for throwing it in, for throwing in with this. 5 players is a lot. My spotlight management, I feel like, is something I'm acutely aware of when I have 3 players. With 5 players, I definitely want to make sure you all get some cool spotlight time, some time to shine. I hope you all felt like you got some of that. Obviously, we had a shorter session today because we had to do things like character creation. But yeah. To sort of echo something Jazzy said, just the little choices that people make, like Ritter going off with Silver Surging Tide. Again, one of the things I really like is I feel like there's a deeper story there, and we're not going to linger on it, but it's there, and to me that is in itself very fun. Or Shimya and Adramir, just seeming to sort of like be buddy copping, babysitting the rookies. Um, and maybe there is a deeper story there, maybe there isn't, maybe this is just a working relationship. I don't know, but it is fun to see these like seeds of stories already being planted. Of course, my wish is also to see more of the story of this blood oath, and why Adramir is sworn to protect this goddamn rookie, this red shirt. Um, so yeah, that's going to be something I lean on. I totally forgot about the clock that I started with, the horned one distracting the hounds, but that's fine. I don't think it would have ever gotten even close to filling up, given the amount of sixes that were rolled when shit hit the fan. So I'm not terribly worried about that. But definitely, I have a level of system mastery that I hope to sort of get under my feet from the GM side of things as we go forward. And yeah, I think and also, yeah, stars to your characters. I agree. I think this game lends itself well to very few details that, like, any of which you can lean into and expand on as much as you want, for how deeply you want to pursue any of these stories. So and then, yeah, the wish is get through the rest of this mission phase next session, and I can't wait to meet your command staff roles, your Legion campaign roles, because that's, I think, where this game really starts to shine. With all that said, I will end the recording and hope that it does what I want it to do, and hopefully make that available to you as soon as I can. So let's do that.